A canon is a member of certain bodies subject to an ecclesiastical rule. Originally, a canon was a cleric living with others in a clergy house or, later, in one of the houses within the precinct of or close to a cathedral and conducting his life according to the orders or rules of the church. This way of life grew common in the 8th century. In the 11th century, some churches required clergy thus living together to adopt the rule first proposed by Saint Augustine that they renounce private wealth. Those who embraced this change were known as Augustinians or canons regular, whilst those who did not were known as secular canons. Secular canons. In the Roman Catholic Church, the members of the chapter of a cathedral or of a collegiate church are canons. Depending on the title of the church, several languages use specific titles, e.g., in German Dom era Dom capitular in a Dom, Stiftscher in a prelature that has the status of a stift. One of the functions of the cathedral chapter in the Roman Catholic Church was to elect a vicar capitular to serve during a seed-vacant period of the diocese. Since the 1983 revision of the Code of Canon Law, this responsibility belongs to the College of Consultors, unless the National Bishops' Conference decides that the functions that canon law ascribes to the College of Consultors, including this one, are to be entrusted to the cathedral chapter. All canons of the Church of England have been secular since the Reformation, although an individual canon may himself also be a member of a religious order. Mostly, however, they are ordained, that is, priests are members of the clergy. Today, the system of canons is retained almost exclusively in connection with cathedral churches. A canon is a member of the chapter of priests, headed by a dean, which is responsible for administering a cathedral or certain other churches that are styled collegiate churches. The dean and chapter are the formal body which has legal responsibility for the cathedral and for electing the bishop. Honorary canons. The title of canon is not a permanent title, and when no longer in a position entitling preferment, it is usually dropped from a cleric's title nomenclature. However, it is still given in many dioceses to senior parish priests as a largely honorary title. It is usually awarded in recognition of long and dedicated service to the diocese. Honorary canons are members of the chapter in name but are non-residential and receive no emoluments. They are entitled to call themselves canon and may have a role in the administration of the cathedral. Generally speaking, canons in the Anglican Communion are of this sort, and thus are equivalent to a Monsignor in the Roman Catholic Church, often wearing the violet-trimmed cassock which is associated with that rank. In some Church of England dioceses, the title prebendary is used instead of canon when the cleric is involved administratively with a cathedral. Honorary canons within the Roman Catholic Church may still be nominated after the Second Vatican Council. Also, priests of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta and the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre are, in fact, titular or honorary canons of these respective orders and have the right to the honorific title of canon and Monsignor, in addition to the choir dress of a canon, which includes the Mosaic lay canons. Since the reign of King Henry IV, the heads of state of France have been granted by the Pope the title of sole honorary canon of St. John Lateran and St. Peter's. On the demise of the Kingdom of France, this honor became transferred to the Presidents of the Republic, and hence is currently held by François Hollande. This applies even when the French president is not Catholic, as is the case with the atheist Hollande. The proto-canon of the Papal Basilica of St. Mary Major is the King of Spain, currently Felipe VI. Before the English Reformation, the King of England was a canon of St. Paul's outside the walls in addition to canons who are clerics in holy orders. Cathedrals in the Anglican Communion may also appoint lay persons as canons. The rank of lay canon is especially conferred upon diocesan chancellors. It has traditionally been said that the King of England is a canon or prebendary of St David's Cathedral, Wales. However, this is based on a misconception. The canonry of St Mary's College, St David's, became the property of the Crown on the dissolution of the monasteries. The sovereign was never a canon of St David's, even as a layman. Article 37, though he or she may occupy the first prebendal stall, which is assigned for the monarch's use. Canon professors at Oxford. Section 2 of the Church of England Measure 1995 was passed for the express purpose of enabling Christ Church, Oxford, to appoint not more than 2 lay canons. One of the motivations for this provision was the fact that, under Section 6 of the Ecclesiastical Commissioners Act 1840, the position of Regius Professor of Ecclesiastical History in the University of Oxford was annexed to a residentiary canonry of the cathedral, meaning that the Regius Professorship could be held only by an Anglican priest. Following the death of Peter Hinchliffe in 1995, the Regius Professorship was held by Henry Mayer Harting, a Roman Catholic layman, from 1997 until 2003, and was taken up by another layperson, Sarah Foote, in Michaelmas term 2007. 3 other statutory professorships: the Regius Professorship of Divinity, Lady Margaret Professorship of Divinity, recently held by the famous Anglican theologian John Macquarie, and Regius Professorship of Moral and Pastoral Theology, are annexed to canonries of Christ Church and were until recently held only by Anglican priests. Minor canons. Minor canons are those clergy who are members of the foundation of a cathedral or collegiate establishment. They take part in the daily services. They have sometimes formed a distinct corporation, as at St Paul's, London. In St Patrick's, Dublin, they are distinct from, and rank before, the vicars choral. The 2 groups overlap, however. The 2 senior vicars, the dean's vicar and the successor, are also the 2 senior minor canons. Some minor canons do sit with, but are not voting members of, the chapter. Although at present minor canons are generally more junior clergy, this is a recent development. Within living memory, such offices were often freehold and were held by clergy of great distinction and seniority. Canons regular. Canons regular are the members of certain religious orders in the Roman Catholic Church, composed of priests and some choir canons who live in community, together in the past with lay brothers. There are a variety of congregations of canons, some of which are part of the Confederation of Canons Regular of Saint Augustine. Canons Regular of the Lateran of St Saviour, which seems to date back to Pope Alexander II. Order of the Canons Regular of Praemonte Norbertines, founded by St Norbert. Order of the Holy Cross, founded in Portugal in 1131 and refounded in 1977. Canons Regular of the Order of the Holy Cross, founded at Clairlieu, near Huy, in Belgium, in 1211. Swiss Congregation of Canons Regular of St Maurice of Agathon. Gilbertine Order, a solely English order of Canons Regular, which became extinct under King Henry VIII. Canons Regular of the Immaculate Conception, a congregation of Canons Regular founded in France in 1871. Many bishops endeavor to imitate St. Augustine and St Eusebius, and to live a common life with the clergy of their church. Rules taken from the sacred canons were even drawn up, for the use of which the most celebrated is that of St Chrodegang, Bishop of Metz. In the 10th century, this institution declined. The canons, as the clergy attached to a church and living a common life were called, began to live separately. Some of them, however, resisted this relaxation of discipline, and even added poverty to the common life. This is the origin of the Canons Regular. Pope Benedict XII, by his constitution ad Decorem, prescribed a general reform of the Canons Regular. The canons regular ex professo united holy orders with religious life, and being attached to a church, devoted themselves to promoting the dignity of divine worship. With monks, holy orders are incidental and secondary, and are superadded to the religious life. With canons, as with the clerks, regular holy orders are the principal thing, and the religious life is superadded to the holy orders.